Good morning. My name is Kelly Walker. This is my husband James, and behind me is one of our daughters, Marissa. 2 years ago, on March 26, 2022, our lives changed forever. It was a normal Friday night. We said goodnight to our kids and we went to bed. That became the last time we would say goodnight to our son, Garrett. Around 5 a.m., we were woken by my phone continuously vibrating. After a few minutes of it ringing, I finally answered, confused as to why someone would be calling me that early in the morning. At the other end of the line was the mother of Marissa's friend. She told me Marissa was in an accident and we should get there right away. After arriving at the scene, a mile from our home, and seeing all the flashing lights, fire trucks, police tape, and multiple EMS vehicles, we knew this was no small accident. As we approached the scene, our stomachs were in complete knots. Something was wrong, badly wrong. A paramedic came up to us and asked if we were Marissa's parents, then informed us that she was okay. We were relieved, but still slightly confused as to what exactly was going on. Then it happened. The question that came out of nowhere, the question that would change our lives forever. Do you have any more children? Specifically, do you have a son? You could see the pain in the paramedic's eyes. Once I confirmed that we had a son, there it was, a parent's worst nightmare. He didn't make it. I fell to the ground crying inconsolably, and my husband James stood there in complete shock. We were led to a nearby ambulance, and Marissa was brought to us. Covered in blood, Garrett's blood, and crying, she repeated over and over again, she was sorry, so very sorry. We told her we forgave her, and we were so glad that she was okay, and that everything would be okay. If the thought of losing one child is unbearable, how much worse would it have been to lose two? We clung to the one thing we knew, that Marissa was okay. Over the next several hours, we began to learn exactly what happened that night. Around 11 p.m. Friday night, Marissa was invited to hang out with one of her friends who had just got off work. She snuck out of the house. They went to a convenience store and the friend purchased alcohol. Marissa contacted Garrett and asked him if he wanted to hang out too. He's a teenage boy, of course he's going to say yes. They picked him up and went to a local park where they all consumed the alcohol they had purchased earlier in the night. At around 4 a.m. in the morning, the teenagers started to head back home. Impaired by alcohol, they decided to go to a parking lot and do donuts. They found the perfect spot, a gravel rock lot with a power pole and dumpsters right in the middle. The vehicle's tire caught the guy wire attached to the utility pole and flipped onto its side. The driver was unharmed. Marissa was taken to the hospital for observation, and Garrett died on impact. Garrett was not wearing his seatbelt and was partially ejected out of the rear passenger side window. Our daughter and her friend, unsure what to do, contacted the friend's mom, who then called authorities. Marissa had to sit there and wait, covered in her brother's blood, with his lifeless body until the first responders arrived. I couldn't even imagine what was going through her head. I'm sure they had seen this act countless times on social media and probably had participated in it before, but this time ended completely different than anyone could ever imagine. After a mandatory blood draw, the driver was charged with intoxication manslaughter and would go on to serve 4 months in jail, followed by 10 years of probation. 17-year-old girls whose lives have been changed forever. Everyone's lives have been changed forever. One bad decision would lead to the next. Bad decisions made by good kids, normal teenage kids who are just having fun in the moment. Decisions that would impact not only the kids themselves, but everyone around them, their family, friends, and classmates. Garrett was a smart, caring, and kind-hearted young man, never a behavior problem. Marissa was the same, a good kid. Garrett could be described by his classmates as kind and had a smile that uplifted every room, even on his worst days and Mondays. He was very loyal to all of his friends. Garrett left a legacy of caring for and supporting others. Our greatest hope is that we will continue to raise awareness and educate others. We want to encourage you to be safe and make good decisions. All our actions have consequences. We do not get to see Garrett graduate this year, nor will we get to see him go on to marry and start a family of his own. All of this was lost by one simple wrong decision. Romans 8:28 says that God works all things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. To us, this means that every life has a purpose. The purpose of Garrett's life is to teach his friends and future generations that our decisions not only affect us, but also those we love. We pray that through our story, no other families will have to endure what we have been through. No family should have to bury a child, especially due to something that could have been so easily prevented. Shortly after Garrett's death, we joined up with the Kaylee Mills Foundation. This foundation works to spread the awareness of seatbelt safety. A few years ago, they gave us our first opportunity to share Garrett's story and spread awareness. We also found an avenue to give back to the community. During the grieving process, we struggled to find an organization that helped parents who have lost a child. This led us to start The Purpose, a grief ministry. This ministry focuses on parents who have lost children. We hope that we can help these parents by having a safe environment to share their grief and stories of their children and those who can understand the pain of what they have been through. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok. We want to thank you for allowing us to share Garrett's story with you today. Please remember that sometimes in life we learn lessons, and other times, unfortunately, someone must become that lesson. On March 26, 2022, Garrett became that lesson. Let this story, Garrett's story, be a lesson for you. Think before you get behind the wheel, be smart, drive safely, buckle up. Good decisions change lives too. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly, and your family for being here, and thank you from everybody from the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Harris County District Attorney's Office, and thank you all for getting this message out to the communities here in Southeast Texas. We just again stress we want this to be a very safe summer, and we can do that if we work with our young drivers and our young people out there on the roadways. So now we'll be available for one-on-one interviews should anybody wish to interview us. Thank you.